Good morning. In my last videos, in last two videos, we have discussed classification of igneous rocks. So far, we have discussed classification based on individual base or factor. Today, we will discuss classification incorporating different factors together. That was given by G.W. Terrell and well known by the tabular classification of igneous rocks. So today we will discuss the tabular classification of igneous rocks given by G.W. Terrell. You all know that there is a very good book by G.W. Terrell, Petrology for Students, which is, you can say, is in short Gita in igneous petrology. In that, he has given this tabular classification and he has incorporated, or you can say taken together, the different factors basis of classification. You all know that the felsic minerals, they constitute 79% in igneous average igneous rocks. So he made vertical divisions based on relation between three felsic groups, that is quartz, feldspar and feldspathoid. The first column he has taken, that is quartz. This is column first, that is taken only quartz. In second, he has taken quartz plus feldspar, then feldspar alone, then feldspar plus feldspathoid, then feldspathoids and then mafic. So he has divided, or he has made 6 vertical columns, and he has divided horizontally into three, that is plutonic, hyperbasal and volcanic, that is on the basis of geological occurrence. At the base of the table he has also taken the silica percentage, right? So, and these vertical divisions, they have been further grouped into 3 categories: oversaturated, saturated, undersaturated, right? We all know that in igneous rocks, if there is an excess silica, or you can say silica is more than 66%, the category of igneous rocks are silicic or acid igneous rocks, and naturally such rocks have quartz as an essential mineral. And once it has quartz, naturally the rock is in the oversaturated category. So we can just see it here that in this column as such, as far as the base of Shand and Holmes of saturation principle, the rocks are in the category oversaturated rocks. As far as silica percentage is concerned, they have more than 66% silica. So naturally the composition of a rock is reflected in minerals, and naturally the minerals which are essential minerals, they group and we get the kindred, from that we get the kindred of rocks. So it is not that the first group, then the first is of quartz, means alone quartz is essential mineral, such to we call as the quartz veins. If you come to the second, that is quartz plus feldspar, and in that feldspar also there are, broadly we divide feldspars into 2 categories, that is alkali feldspar and plagioclase feldspar. So if the dominant minerals or the essential minerals are quartz plus orthoclase, that rock, and it is a plutonic, then the rock name you all know is a granite, right? That is your granite, here is the granite. And if a rock has quartz plus plagioclase as essential mineral, then the rock is granodiorite and the rock is plutonic. So from this tabular classification, from the pigeonhole, if we can know the silica percent, we can know the mineral content, we can know the geological occurrence. So nicely he has produced this table, and the volcanic equivalents also we can see just beneath granite is at the bottom is the rhyolite, because granite and rhyolite compositionally they are same, but texturally they are different. or say one is plutonic, granite is plutonic, whereas rhyolite is volcanic. So this is just at the only one thing I would have suggested Terrell. I suggest Terrell that instead of taking plutonic as the top, you should have taken at the bottom and volcanic at the top, because that is logical in respect or with respect to their mode of occurrence. The granites are at the plutonic, they should be at the bottom, and the volcanics they should be at the top. So you would have reversed this order, it would have been better. By the way, what he has done, he has written the plutonic, or he has made the horizontal row of plutonic, then hypobasal, then volcanic. We were discussing that in the second column, the quartz plus feldspar, and in that two first quartz plus orthoclase, and the rock is plutonic, then that is your granite. Similarly, quartz plus dominating plagioclase, then the rock is your granodiorite. Volcanic equivalent of granite is your rhyolite. Similarly, volcanic equivalent of granodiorite is dacite. They are written here, right? Then the next broad column he has taken of the feldspars. Once we say feldspars, they are as such saturated minerals. Saturated minerals are those which are capable of existing in presence of free silica, right? They may have free silica, they may not have. The rocks may not have free silica or say quartz. So they are saturated. Again, depending upon nature of the feldspar, they have further been divided into three categories, right? As such, the category of rocks will be saturated, and depending upon the nature of the feldspar, whether it is alkali dominating or albitic dominating or anthracite dominating, the names of the igneous rocks are written. And diorite, you can say just when orthoclase, or you can say the alkali feldspar dominates, the name of the rock is your cyanide. Then if AB dominating OR orthoclase, then it is your diorite, and if AN and AB ANA dominating, then it is your gabbro. Similarly, their volcanic equivalents will be written just at the base. For this diorite, for cyanide, it is trachyte. The volcanic equivalent of cyanide is trachyte. Compositionally they are same, texturally they are different. Similarly, your diorite volcanic equivalent is andesite, and similarly for your gabbro, volcanic equivalent is basalt. So this is plutonic, this is volcanic. Now the hypobasal rocks, they are named, or you can say by prefixing the word porphyritic. If you prefix word porphyritic to name of plutonic or volcanic rock, that serves the purpose. For example, porphyritic rhyolite, porphyritic granite, porphyritic basalt, porphyritic gabbro, like this. So the names of hypobasal rocks as such are there. In that, the names of few that porphyries and apatites are used, and in hypobasal certain types may have wide range of mineral composition. For example, apatites and porphyries. The composition of any particular type is indicated by prefixing the name of the plutonic rocks to which it corresponds. For example, granite porphyry, cyanide apatite, right? This is cyanide, this is apatite. So the horizontal classification is made on plutonic, hypobasal and volcanic groups. The silica content in this table, if you see from one end to the other end, there is continuously increase or decrease in a particular, you can say, base. For example, silica content continuously decreases if you go this side. So this side silica decreases. Similarly, if you go this side, the feldspar increases, the nature of feldspar changes, and ultimately felsic, then mafic, more mafic, and ultimately the sixth column, that is the mafic rocks only, mafic minerals only. As far as we know that in a rock, quartz and nepheline or say feldspathoid never occur together. So there cannot be a combination of feldspathoid and quartz. This side, secondly, the silica content decreases. So the question of formation of quartz as mineral doesn't arise. So if you try to understand this, is so beautifully planned and tabulated that one gets the clear concepts regarding the different names of rocks which incorporate in the, which have been pigeonholed on the basis of different parameters and the conformity between the different parameters, because if a rock has more silica, naturally it will have quartz. If a rock has less silica, the question of quartz as essential mineral doesn't arise. So once again I repeat that in the tabular classification, G.W. Terrell has taken into consideration the different individual bases together. You can see at the top oversaturated, right? Oversaturated, saturated and undersaturated. This is broadly this is into three columns. We all know that oversaturated rocks are those which have silica, or you can say free silica or quartz essential minerals. So all those igneous rocks which have quartz essential mineral, they are categorized into oversaturated rocks. Then saturated means have minerals which are capable of existing in presence of free silica, and that are the feldspars. And third is the undersaturated rocks, means they have unsaturated minerals. Unsaturated minerals are your feldspathoids and your mafic minerals. So vertical divisions broadly into three. Then further they have been subdivided, and overall there are 6 vertical divisions. First vertical division of quartz, second is of quartz and feldspar, then your feldspar individual, then feldspar plus feldspathoids and the mafic minerals, right? And the horizontal divisions are into, on the mode of occurrence or geologic occurrence, into three horizontal divisions, that is plutonic, volcanic and hypobasal, right? The names of the rocks which belong to a particular category, they have been mentioned, and their volcanic equivalents in that same at the base, right? And at the base of the table your silica content has been mentioned. So this is, you can say, the basis or the concept, or you can say the basic classification, or you can say the basic the nomenclature of the rocks that he has taken on the combination of different bases of classification in tabular form. So the last category just I would like to mention here, only the ultramafic rocks have been are mentioned, means only the mafic minerals are dominating, felsic minerals are not there. And you know the rock names are the peridotite and plutonic and your cometite, like that. Such rocks are duonite, peridotite, pyroxenite, they are the plutonic rocks, and cometite they are the volcanic rocks. Similarly, in column number 5, when we say that is the rocks that isolite, feldspar rich, and in column 5 nepheline, syenite, and then volcanic equivalent phonolite, right? So these are the different. So to the students of graduation, I will expect that they should at least remember all the names that are mentioned in this tabular classification, and try to remember every time whenever they study the next, or you say the higher classification of igneous rocks. Thank you very much. We will discuss next Sprague's classification on the next term. Thank you very much.